Call the meeting to order, 4:30. Got the minutes of February 4th, 2025.
I'll make a motion to approve them.
Well, second.
Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Region School District, Region 20 update. I put a little thing in the packet here. I kind of put it all together after that meeting with the auditor, you know, some of his numbers. And I feel these numbers are pretty close to what they actually are. Some things probably going to be added to this as well, because I just kind of found out today or yesterday, you know, there's unemployment costs associated with Region 6 as well. So that could be another bonus on top of everything we have here. So we had,
Unemployment,
yes, 381,000 to vendors. This is from Region 6. 458,000 for the pension plus the benefits, the health insurance to stay even right now per year. The 381's a one time. 202, 284 owed to Litchfield as part of the shared services agreement. And so what really comes down to Morris, as you can see below that, the 127, the 67, and then a yearly, at least yearly. I would say you're probably going to be looking at more like 175 for the pension and benefits.
so not 153, you're looking at
The
175.
153 was just to not draw any more out of the pension. I think there's 800 and I have it there. There's about 850 something thousand in that fund right now. It really needs to be brought up to probably 1.7 million. Oh. You know, there's different ways we can hopefully manage it. But what I found out also is, you know, according to the state, Region 6 ceased to exist June 30th of 2024. We were under the impression they could continue on until all the business was taken care of. Well, according to the State Board of Ed, no, that's not true. I did contact one of the attorneys for the Board of Ed, and that's what he came up with as well. And hopefully there was supposed to be some sort of agreement in place between Region 6 and Region 20, making Region 20 kind of, I mean, beneficiary is not the right term, but the continuation to carry on Region 6
Right,
business.
the new owner.
Yeah, which I would assume would include, you know, at least managing all the liabilities that are outstanding, managing the pension and figure out how that's going to work. Because there is money in the Region 20 current budget for the Region 6 pension and also for the Litchfield pension. It's really not where that money belongs. It probably should be outside of the budget, and because Litchfield doesn't want to pay our pension, Region 6, and Region 6 doesn't want to pay Litchfield's pension either. So we're going to have a meeting hopefully in the near future and discuss that. And obviously, as you know, we are facing that $1.9 million minimum, probably operating deficit currently. We have the debt payment, which for the Litchfield schools, and I believe that's at like perhaps a 7% interest rate as well. So that's 1.9 million at 7%. I think they may have gone for a 20-year loan on that. So we're going to be looking at that cost to pay back the debt. So there's probably the unemployment for Region 6 employees that we also have to look at as well. So I'm hoping by next week we'll have some better numbers on all this to put it together, because, you know, obviously we're running into budget time. We got to figure out how much is gonna come out of our fund balance. We gotta get town meeting together to approve any of these expenditures over $20,000, which I believe they all are. And so there's a lot for us as towns to have to deal with, and we really need to get Region 20 moving on this to give us some answers.
This 202 that was owed to Litchfield from Region 6. That came out of the audit, correct?
Yes.
So did Region 6 ever come back and understand that to be, oh yes, that, like, do they have any other input to confirm that it was missed or what it involved, what it covers?
Well, that's, good question is, I kind of told the auditor, I said, yeah, you're telling us we owe, 381 to the vendors.
Right.
Well, for what?
Right,
What exactly did we purchase for 381? And also the same for the shared services with Litchfield. What does that entail exactly? Is it salaries for certain employees that were involved in the, bringing the two together? Bills for equipment? I don't know. So we need to get those answers as well. People want to see the receipts.
okay,
you know.
right. And we don't have anyone that is providing any more information of, no, that was paid, it was XYZ or something. It's just, we're going by what the audit has come back
Yeah,
at this point.
and my understanding is, at least with the vendors, they haven't been paid. That's money that is owed right now. And
That's
these
right.
people have been sitting probably for a year on some of this stuff,
Mhm.
close to a year. I feel horrible for the vendors. I mean, it's small businesses, or it doesn't matter if you're small or big. You shouldn't be waiting for your money for, 10 months.
Right,
So that's kind of where we are with Region 20. Like I said, I'll get some better numbers probably by next week.
okay,
Maybe we'll be able to pin it down and get some answers to what exactly is owed here for what as well, what are the receipts on it?
That 347. Is that approximately what the payout, what we're gonna have to pay?
I think it's gonna be more than that,
That's just like a base figure.
yeah, I mean, two of those payments, the 127 and the 67 it's a one-time payment, we're done. We pay off the vendors, we pay off Litchfield schools, and we're whole there. And then we have to worry about the pension and the benefits and the unemployment that goes along with it. For continued costs.
Well, now, I read that they were, Litchfield was, or Region 20 was gonna go for a grant. Or,
Yeah,
try to get,
1.5 million.
Yeah.
They're kind of optimistic about that. We'll see what happens. Stephen Harden, our minority senator, Senate leader, and he's introduced that in this session, and we'll see what happens. I mean, probably won't know anything about that until could be May. Depends on how they do this year with all the legislation. They have a lot on their plate. It's a long session. They got a lot to do.
and that's not necessarily this year even, that might be something that wouldn't even come in.
Yeah, I mean,
Till
it could
next
come
year.
into next July, this coming July,
So we
next
would
fiscal year.
Still have to
Yeah. You have to deal
remedy
with-
this current,
The only thing I could hope is that would help. It should reduce some of the costs
that's
of
what
the
I'm saying,
town.
we should bring down the cost.
yeah,
Yeah,
right, yes, hopefully,
Alright.
right, but it might not be
And if they don't,
this year.
and if they get it after the budget year, then it would get reimbursement
either that, or I don't know, would they pay down the debt, the school debt,
or, yeah.
and get us out of that high interest loan?
But the understanding is if the budget is passed, with the assumption that this grant isn't coming in, we can't reduce that budget.
Right.
The next year, so.
Yeah.
We're still stuck at paying
Well-
that with the hopes that this comes in, but if it comes in, it helps pay the budget, but we're still committed to that higher number.
Yeah, I mean, they're talking 4% increase possibly in the budget. We'll see.
Alright. Well, they can talk all the increase they want, but
right,
it goes to a referendum
yeah,
and
go
it
to a
gets
vote.
rejected. They have to revert back to their existing budget,
Yes,
don't they?
Mhm.
and that was kind of the next thing in this region school district update is I would like for the towns to go to a referendum in each of the member towns. Not have the budget vote at a district meeting. Up at, Lakeview. I think it's just, given the circumstances, all the issues that are involved, I think it's the right thing to do and get more people out to have their voice.
Mhm.
And, if you agree, I'd entertain a motion that we, write a letter to the Region 20 Board of Education requesting that referendum on the 25-26 Region 20 budget.
Well, I'll make that recommendation because I've had people ask me about that,
Mhm.
that it should go to a referendum.
Absolutely,
Is that a second?
yes, I second that. Have to give everyone an opportunity to speak about it.
A little discussion on that is, you know, if they reject, I've talked to the other, first selectmen and said, this is what I was gonna propose to our board of selectmen. And, I would hope they would say, yes, we will, but if they don't, the other option is to go with a petition and get at least 200 signatures and, present that to the Board of Ed, and they have to go to referendum. So,
Well, I'm on board for a petition, so
Mhm.
if we have to do a petition.
and I don't think it'd be too hard to get 200 signatures in the 4 towns.
No,
All those in favor, to send a letter to the Region 20 Board of Ed to request a referendum for the budget?
I,
Opposed? None. All right. So moved. Anything else you think of on the,
Well, somebody asked me, is there a charter for Region 20?
oh, there is a regionalization plan. Yeah,
Do we have a copy of that plan?
I think it's on the website. I have to take a look, but yeah, we can get you a copy. I can send you both or print one off for each of you.
Because, and I don't know if it's true, but somebody said that in that charter, it said that the budget cannot increase for 4 years.
I
that
remember,
was discussed in the town meetings and the presentation of it, yeah.
yeah. Well, they violated the charter already.
Right. When, no,
I brought that up in a meeting and I said, you know, the whole deal with the, capital budget,
right,
or supposed to be for capital, for infrastructure improvements only, and they purchase uniforms and stuff with it. I said, you know, you already violated the charter. Right, well, we've done it other ways too. I'm like, oh, that's not what we voted for.
right, right.
You
And
know,
that's what people are saying.
yeah,
There are things being done that we didn't vote for.
yeah,
Mhm.
and we're paying the bill.
I know you mentioned getting better numbers next week. Is there an opportunity to get more clarity on this pension, this overlooking of how this was gonna be handled, or?
We hope they
Yeah.
have answers.
Okay, right,
So I'll definitely request information on exactly what we owe money for. And hopefully we have a better idea of how the pension's gonna be handled moving forward, you know? Cause it's really the 3 Wamogo Region 6 towns that are liable for it.
Now, is there a special committee that handles the pension?
Well, on the old Region 6, it was 3 members of the school board were the trustees of the pension.
Did they keep that in place or? Yeah, we don't know.
Those 3 members are gone now,
Oh, okay.
so. That's some of the questions, like who legally has the right to make these decisions? If there's an actual document in place that allows Region 20 to do that, then I think we need to set up a pension committee with members from each of the 3 towns, not necessarily school board members. But it could be a member of the Board of Selectmen from each town or something like that, because we're gonna be looking at this for 20 to 30 years.
Right.
So unless we figure out a way to pay it off and do payouts, you know, annuities, but. So we gotta
Yeah,
figure the
so-
long term,
Somebody's got to keep track of that.
Yeah.
I mean, we have it in our town.
yeah,
Mhm.
we have a good committee and
Right.
they do a good job, and they've done a great job.
Yes,
So. Hopefully we can make that work at Region 20.
Here's to next week again.
Yeah, down the road, keep kicking, it's a big can.
Yeah,
The EMD budget, we discussed that last, meeting 2 weeks ago. I didn't know if you had any thoughts on that. Because it did include, stipends for the EMD, the deputy, the secretary and the fiscal
mhm.
in that. Just wanted to see what you thought, if you move forward with it or not.
I was fine to move forward with it.
It is, one of the guidelines under the FEMA grant is to pay for those services.
Mhm. Make a motion.
Second. To approve the budget,
Yes,
all those in favor?
aye.
And, I'll get into that a little bit later. Things are, you know, this whole, things that are happening nationally are definitely gonna be affecting us locally.
Mhm.
Appointments, speaking of pension, Mary Skilton, who's the chair of the pension board. Her term is up April 15th of 25. New term would be April 15th, I'm sorry, of 25 to April 14th of 28. Is there a motion to
I'll make
approve
a
her?
motion.
I'll second it.
Any discussion? Do appreciate all those that are on that board.
Mhm.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Correspondence, I kind of do a little quick update. Obviously, we had the storm. Highway crew was out there for over 30 hours straight. Had to put down a lot of material, clear a lot of branches off the roads. We had a number of people without power. We moved some generators around here and there to different people that needed them. I was out most of all day yesterday with Eversource and contacting our liaison with Eversource to coordinate some of the restoration. The guys, the people out there, the Eversource crews and the contractors that they have did a great.
Get away from there.
So, look the outlet there, exploding box. They were doing a great job. I met them over on Anderson Road Extension for a while. They were above and beyond what, you know. I just remember the old days of CMP and SNET where they worked with you easily. I mean, you knew the people. These guys you don't know at all, but they were still kind of the same mindset. They didn't care what was on their clipboard. They went out and just did the job. So they did a wonderful job. I
They
thought.
did a nice job, and I was amazed that they were still working in the wind,
Yeah,
because usually
it was brutal.
there's a certain,
30 mph.
Yeah,
And then they get these gusts while they're in the bucket,
Yeah.
50 miles an hour.
those guys did a great job.
Yeah. And I do feel sorry for all the people that lost power. I believe they're all back on. The liaison who signed off today, felt that they would all be restored today. So I hope they are. I did participate. We had a regional management, emergency management, planning team executive committee meeting. And as I was talking about, concerns at the federal level, we get FEMA funds. And some of these grant years go back, where we haven't expended the grants going back to say, 22 and 23. So we met and decided to send out a memo to all the different emergency management support, or emergency support function committees. Tell them you need to get quotes for whatever you're looking to purchase and start getting these things approved quickly. Cause that money may end up drying up. And think we're all set for the previous year's, commitments, but they really gotta get the ball rolling. Ever since I got involved in this, I never understood why we're going back 3 grant years and waiting to spend the money. I mean, it's like, you have something you obviously need, let's purchase it and get it, spend the grant.
Mhm.
It's like pulling teeth with some of the committees, And it's a lot. It's Region 5. I can't remember how many towns we have in Region 5, but it's a lot of coordination. So that's what we did. We're gonna have a full REPT meeting on Monday to discuss this recommendation and discuss it further. I don't know if you know John Field.
Yes.
He's our Region 5 coordinator for DEMIS, the Department of Emergency Management, Homeland Security. Sadly, he's stepping down. He's retiring. Great guy. Has done a wonderful job. I think he was a former chief of the fire department in Torrington, I believe. But after that, he moved into this
That's right,
position.
yes.
He's done a great job, and he will be stepping down. Hopefully, his assistant will be taking his place because he's also does a great job as well. We did have a Council of Small Towns Board of Directors meeting today to discuss the governor's budget. And I try not to get too hyped up about what the governor proposes because it never ends up being exactly that. There are some concerns in there for little towns. One bright spot for Morris is our school funding did increase a little bit. Our ECS, educational cost share monies did increase a little bit. Not much else, but there are concerns about the veterans property tax exemption, how it's being applied. The motor vehicle assessments hit a lot of towns, including us, pretty hard. Anything over, I think 20 years old is valued at like $500. And that took a lot of money away from the towns. So they have to make it up someplace, and that's in their property taxes. So a lot of discussion about his budget, but there's still a long ways to go on that. So we're gonna wait on revenue figures for our budget for a while. Did you have anything else, anything from town?
Well, we started on our budget, right?
Yeah.
Our budget.
I pretty much have all department budgets in. Some are still waiting on vendor costs.
Yeah.
We're still waiting obviously on healthcare costs and revenue. The revenue side's always it takes a while because of the state. But I think maybe not the next meeting, but the following one, we probably should have a budget.
And you've been keeping Board of Finance involved with Region 20 and what's going on.
Yeah, I presented a lot of this at their last meeting, last Tuesday night.
So there's no surprises.
No, yeah, that's,
Well.
yeah, wow, still to come,
They know all surprises we know, I would assume.
Right,
then.
It's gonna be interesting budget time, I gotta
Yeah.
say, we just don't know. Fortunately, we're in a good position. Fortunately, we received 175,000 from Region 6. Outside of our current budget, so that's, revenue and our fund balance. We have a healthy fund balance to absorb some of this, but can't guarantee the mill rate will not go up. I think we saw at the last meeting, our grand list only went up 0.93, which is good compared to some towns that are going down, so that's a positive.
Very much so. Do we expect a preliminary one from Region 20 before they get too close to the deadline?
Yeah, one would hope. I didn't sense a lot of information was getting pushed out to all the Board of Ed members. They haven't nailed down specifics on this budget yet. Fortunately, Scott Popicker is on the Finance Committee for Region 20. And, obviously he and Tracy Martin are very concerned and involved. So we're fortunate there.
And they're on our Board of Finance.
Yeah,
Oh.
and Diane Barnes is on as well, actually, from Morris too. So a lot to come. Moving targets.
Interested if they're accounting for this 1.9 in the new budget when we haven't yet figured out how to pay it currently? Like, are they,
The deficit we're
Yeah.
running? Yeah, there's talk about rolling it forward, like in 3 years of the next three budgets somehow, and, I guess that's what regional school districts can do. My concern is increasing artificial, kind of, maybe it's not artificial, but I call it artificially increasing our budget. Moving into the next year, you worry about the minimum budget requirements, because once you pay off that 1.9. Well, your budget really can't go down that much.
right?
So are we stuck with this
And we
inflated
still don't
budget?
even know what it accounts for, so we're not.
Yeah.
Going to be willing to say, spread it out per se.
Yeah,
Lots of questions still.
yeah, I would definitely, get on Zoom or whichever platform they're using for these, Region 20 meetings. Keep on top of it
Mhm.
as much as you can. So. Anything else?
Okay.
There's a person online. I don't know if you have any comments or anything. Never seem to. Okay. It is 4:56. Or a motion to adjourn.
I'll make a motion to adjourn.
I'll second it.
Sure.
Aye.